Hello and welcome to another round of Spudventures. This week we are back for session 4 of our Root tabletop RPG mini-campaign, Ironclaw Infiltrators. So take it away, GreatDinn.
Hey, hi, hello everybody, welcome back. Joining us this week, we have Newbiespud as Mint, the squirrel Vagrant.
Why?
We have AvisEcho as Siva, Kestral Seeker.
Sword golf is not a valid sport.
We have VerminQuest as Yuki, the fox Ronin.
Hello.
We have Winged Cat as Vost, crow Scoundrel.
Winged Cat.
Cat,
Hello?
it's your turn.
Sound check.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Nailed it. Why not?
And unfortunately,
reasons why not.
DigoDragon...
Sorry, go on.
No worries. Unfortunately, DigoDragon is not here right now. Hopefully he'll show up later, but we just haven't been able to reach him today. But if he does show up, he's playing Brixie, the wolf Arbiter. Previously, our Vagabonds had made their way into Howltooth Clearing, where they encountered the final two sort of faction leaders, Publia Volcaire, the senator, and Scius Duilius, the mayor of Sheldock Clearing. And they were not having a good time. They were having a big public argument, and it basically boiled down to Scius was interested in potentially partnering up, and Publia did not see the worth in it. Following that, our Vagabonds found themselves in a nice hotel where Siva heard something, felt something, presence deep down in the waters of the lake, and followed it to meet Wart, a totally good member of her religion, who informed her of where the prison of the Ironclaw is and initiated a jailbreak. Our Vagabonds got involved, things went wildly out of control, and they managed to pull basically everyone out with only a minimal amounts of casualties. Upon their exit, they were discovered by one Isilos, who is one of the hands of the senator, and he applauded them, saying they were exactly what he was looking for, and that he had something he'd like them to do.
Because apparently he's a member of the Corvid conspiracy.
Correct.
And one more important detail, we fixed the howl.
You did. The Howltooth no longer howls or has teeth. So they will need to rethink the name of this clearing at some point. Maybe when things are less hectic.
At the moment, we've got a whole swath of political prisoners that need moving is kind of our main problem, and it won't be long until the entire Ironclaw knows that something has gone belly up.
Yep.
And the easiest solution out seems to be to take them down to the port that's the next clearing over and get them out that way.
Yep, that is indeed an option.
Possibly, but first we need to deal with the official who now pretty much holds all the cards in whatever option we take next.
Mm-hmm.
So what's his name again? I need to write this down.
I will write it down for you. It is Isilos.
And has he actually mentioned the Corvid conspiracy yet?
He did. He announced it when he did his little bow.
Yep.
I'll give you his last name too, since it's mildly relevant. Isilos Naso is his full name.
And what? He's a
Blue Jay.
Blue Jay. Okay.
Yep.
Gotta get the mental picture right.
Yes. Blue Jays are corvids. Things you learn when you randomly study animals.
I guess so.
He has basically he announced himself. Do you actually want to talk with him? Or do you want to run, or do you want to try and just knock him out here? What options would you like to take?
I look back at the throng of political prisoners behind us, let out a weary sigh, look over at Isolos and step forward and say, well, either we could knock you out and use you as leverage, or you could have any number of backup waiting for you, Mr. High and Mighty, so how about we talk instead?
More than happy to, my friend. More than happy to.
How long do we have to talk before we are discovered?
You probably have, given that the other guards are going to be dealing with, like, the injured and whatnot, the guards that did escape, I think you probably have a little bit of time.
First things first.
I would say,
so in character asking Isolos, how long do you think we have until we're discovered?
oh, probably about 20 minutes, unless I do something else.
Very good.
Okay then, 20 minutes to figure out how we're going to get out of this. So what do you want?
Oh, shoot, I'm sorry, I just unplugged my headphones.
Oh.
Can't hear anything.
Okay.
I apologize. I leaned back and my cable got caught around me.
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you saying?
It happens. So, might as well start. You probably know what we want. Or
he nods.
One of the many things we want. What do you want?
I would like things around here to be a little more unpredictable. I would like the power structure around here to be less focused on who has the high ground.
Well, sounds like you're having a great time then, because the power structure is split into 4 from our perspective.
It is, but there's still the matter of how each faction is taking control of things.
By
How would you
swaying a
prefer to
portion of the
take
military?
Mm-hmm. And you see, sorry, one of my dogs is having a freak out session for some reason. Today is apparently not a great day. Isolos will point to the watch tree in the center of the island that is the Ironclaw. The only reason that the military has as much power as it does is because they can see everything. Because they can watch each clearing. If each clearing was its own little personal, localized kingdom of sorts, then I suppose there wouldn't be any problems with this 4-way split, now would there?
The military could no longer see into each clearing.
Correct.
Yeah, and every clearing would then utilize whatever assets they have as leverage against each other. Mm-hmm. Whether it's the vault over there to the west, or knowledge in the port to the east, or the trade to the south.
Yes, each would have its own little faction that it could build up and use to create a more egalitarian system. And if nothing else, it allows for more interested parties to gather and mobilize in ways they previously could not. Not under the watchful eye of the Eerie.
You do have a point that the watchtower is pretty much the central pillar keeping Ironclaw united and powerful as it is. Because it can not only watch but deploy at a moment's notice. Also, egalitarians, really?
Forgive them that.
It's the origin of the word, my friend. I'm not surprised you don't know that.
Uh-huh. So...
Called me, and maybe I can help you blind the watchtower.
I would be more than happy to if you all have the courage to take forth that task.
Okay, let me rephrase. You help them, and in gratitude, I help you blind the watchtower.
Of course, of course. I figured that the lot of you had no need for my particular skills, but the rest of you, the rest of that lot, the, shall we say, refugees. Political prisoners is such a dirty word after all, and these fine folk just happen to have been dragged in by the storm across the lake. Is that right?
That's exactly right.
Well, a little bit of paperwork from me, and that will be true enough.
So if we can get them out of here and help them, and this Vost points to the other party members, with their goals, then you and I may well be able to blind the watchtower.
Isolos will nod. This is all sounding like a perfectly good arrangement to him. So, just lay out what it is you all want, and I suppose get ready to do something else.
Mint. At this point, I do not know when we shall be parting ways, but it seems inevitable that we shall be parting within the next few days. I wish to thank you for all the assistance and guidance you have given me. You have given me more to think of than you can possibly imagine.
I stare blankly back at Vost, and then say, "Did you plant extra charges when we weren't looking?"
I didn't have to.
Why?
Because the charges, or rather that which is about to, which will soon become charges, is over there. And Vost points in the direction of the watchtower. The material's already here.
I'm talking about the prison.
I'm talking about the watchtower and all the beautifully explosive materials that grow next to it. The prison? Yeah, no, I've done to the prison what I'm going to do to the prison.
Did you take steps to demolish the prison and not tell me?
Not intentionally. Once you told me of the dangers of sabotaging the prisons, I limited myself to securing an entrance and trying to blow the doors. I had no way of knowing the doors were load bearing.
You blew the doors?
Well, yeah. How else were we going to get the prisoners out?
The jail cells is what he's referring to.
Oh.
From the previous session.
Gotcha.
So you're saying that something near the watchtower grows that is an explosive?
Be converted into an explosive if you know how. I know how, and I have much reason to believe this knowledge is extremely limited. It is quite possible I am the only person on this island who knows how. At this time, I am willing to, and in fact planning to, share this knowledge with a select few. I don't think you want this knowledge.
Whatever, Vost. I'm clearly not in control of you.
But I thank you nonetheless for the guidance you have given.
I'm not sure
You've
what that
opened
is at
my
this point.
You have opened my ways to much better ways to topple oppressive folks.
Considering you're about to go and blow up a tree that could, you know, fall on any one of the clearings.
Blow up the entire tree, which granted I had originally planned on doing. Just the bark will suffice. I only need to blind it. I don't need to topple it. And this way I don't need to hurt anyone. Just take down the skin.
Yeah.
Direct your observation force.
And no soldiers will be hurt along the way, right?
Not if I stick to the very bark of the tree, and I time the explosive so that nobody's leaning out the window.
What happened to you to make you this way?
You did.
Cool, I'm gonna take a long, hard look inside of myself then.
Now then, we have more immediate matters to tend to. Vost looks over. Is Isla still there listening to all of this?
He's listening with a sort of insincere grin on his face.
So, Islos, what would you recommend as the best way to get these former prisoners down to Shellport? You know this area better than we do.
Well, my friend, with the guards in the disarray that they are, and I'm certain, if my memory is correct, and it usually always is, the guards at Shellport are not those who've ever dealt with the specifics of this prison. The only ones you need to worry about are those of Howltooth, and if I'm here, if I'm directing them to Shelldock, then it's not really that much of an issue now, is it?
Yeah, so that part's
So you're
handled.
volunteering to guide them while we take care of another thing we need to get to Shelldock.
He will nod. Yep.
Sounds like a plan. Mint?
I'm not entirely certain.
What are your reservations?
I'm not sure a Ironclaw in disarray with all of the factions vying and leveraging their resources, including the denizens, is what's best for the denizens.
True,
Because
but
what will happen is that they'll fight over what they have, go to war with and for what each of them have, whether it's financially
if
or
they
militarily.
this is true if they were given to distrust one another.
Well, and we have no evidence of that.
And I believe the plan you had in motion would at least secure 2, if not 3, of the clearances being on friendly terms. Although certainly less strict and still achieving most of what Islos here is hoping to get anyway.
Is our plan to unite Ironclaw, 2 of Ironclaw's leaders, and subsume the rest in any way compatible with your egalitarian plan?
I suppose it would depend on which 2 you were planning on getting together, but... oh, let me guess. The architect and the consulate?
Yes.
And
And let the senator and the guard captain get pushed out.
well, I would be lying if I said that dear Senator Publia would have any shot in either scenario, but I think you're underestimating just how vicious Commander Claudius is. He's the sort of person who, when faced with a lost cause, will fight forever.
Then he needs to go down, so that in order for this to happen.
He needs to get redirected.
In the scenario where he still holds some sliver of power, he'll be too busy dealing with the many, many asses he'd have to kiss in order to get the positions that he wants from the political power of the Senate. But if he was to be completely booted, who knows what sort of deranged behavior he might go through.
Like, say, if it was already known that the one who knew how to make explosives had been planning to impart to him the secret, and that shortly after this imparting, he had reason to believe his position would become a little desperate, and then somehow explosives went off all around that large tree to blind it. And he being the only known person remaining, the explosive teacher having mysteriously disappeared, why, he might be the only suspect.
You want to frame Claudius for blowing up the watchtower.
Isolus, does this work with your plans?
I think you might have difficulty pulling that off, given that Claudius is largely the one in charge of the watchtower, but I suppose more foolish things have worked out in your favor.
Yeah, they'll just as easily assume that some unknown interloper is blown up, or the Marquisat. They'll blame anyone but themselves. Frankly, frankly, that's par for the course for the Eerie.
Suppose if you had someone on the inside of Claudius's military might, if you had someone who has Claudius's ear, you might be able to convince the people, but that might be difficult given how long you've been here and who you may or may not have talked to.
We do not have that kind of inroads with Claudius's inner circle. That's not happening. We haven't even interacted with Claudius's inner circle that much.
Actually, had that one friend.
Actually, what?
Siva had that one friend the other day in the library. I think maybe you knew him as well.
Oh no. We'd have to flip Karl Hundmeister?
Isolus does not seem to know who that is.
Oh, even better. Man, I feel like an amateur.
I mean, you don't have to. I'm just pointing out all of the options you have available.
And that's assuming that we could even pull off this whole sabotage the watchtower thing with clean paws, which I'm not certain of that, Vost. That is assuming a whole lot of competency that is not par for the course for us.
And Mint, I was trying to say, you don't have to. By the time that this goes down, probably you'll be long gone from this island.
You're gonna stay here and long con it?
Like I said, we may soon part ways, and I wish to thank you before we did.
This is what you wanted the whole time, huh?
Plans have evolved. You are largely to blame.
That's a fun way to phrase it.
Oh, goodness. I'm starting to run out of time on discussing this.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
right.
We have the basic plan. Isolus takes the prisoners down to Sheldock. We head the other way and proceed with our prior plan.
To get Achille and Scius on the same side so that the denizens have some leaders that are potentially going to look out for them.
Yes.
And then
we also probably should rest either on this end or that end of the journey because it is very late.
You have to convince Achille to make the journey herself because Scius wants to see her cross over personally to prove how actually intent she is on this alliance. Which might be a deal breaker.
And is almost certainly going to be in our company if she does. For her safety, if nothing else.
And then, at some point, the watchtower has to go.
Let me worry about that.
Plus, they're still getting anything you want from the vault.
Yeah.
Etc., etc.
All right. Islos, if we pull this off, we get our pick of what we want from the vault. Can I have your word on that?
Isolos will nod and say, and more than that, you will be owed a favor from some people I know in high and low places.
All right.
We have eyes everywhere,
Naturally.
as you might guess.
I kind of glance at Vost for a second and then say, all right. Well, we already knocked over a secret prison, so I guess we might as well be crazy enough to make that the plan.
Okay.
Completely remake Ironclaw.
Vost holds up his hands at Minsk at glance with, I'm not part of this conspiracy yet. Islos, at some point when we have time, I want to hear more. Not now.
Isolos will grin and say, very well. And then he will point to the quote-unquote refugees and ask them to follow him. Does anyone have anything else they'd like to say to Isolos or do with the political prisoners before they depart?
I explained to the group, he's an official from the Eyrie. If anyone can get you through to safety, I'm afraid it's going to have to be him. So follow him and do what he says.
They all look pretty skeptical, understandably, I think.
But he's from the Eyrie, but he's on our side for now.
And they nod, and Sakura, that rabbit that it was part of Yuki's entourage, will approach Yuki and whisper something into her ear. Let me just type that out real fast.
In a private message?
Yes.
Siva's been pretty quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Man, y'all going over her head. What you want from me?
So, Siva, are you looking? Are you paying attention to the conversation at all, or are you looking around?
I don't think she has been. I think, to be honest, I have been trying to. I have been trying to keep track of the conversation. I think she has actually been with the wizard cultist.
Yeah.
And be they dreamers or blood, trying to calm people,
show solidarity.
How things are going to be okay. Yeah, just bring us all together.
I was envisioning that she was
something the dragons did this for a reason. Something.
When you said over her head, I was envisioning she was standing between Islos and the party, and we were literally talking over her head.
I mean, everyone talks over her head, but
with regards to the members of the lizard cult, several of them are the ones that you assume might be more worm blood are looking back towards the prison, while the worm dreamers are more just making sure that everyone is okay, and saying several prayers to the dragons.
All right, then.
All right, message sent.
A long whisper.
There's a little more to it than just whispering, but yeah.
We're taking our side.
Mm-hmm. But Siva, if you look over where the wormblood are looking back towards the prison, you can see that although it's only been, half an hour or so, you are seeing some telltale signs that what was the prison is slowly becoming a lizard cult garden. It appears that whatever Wart was doing to those soldiers was not just killing them.
Oh, so envisioning nature reclaiming the world upon the removal of humans from the equation.
Yeah, basically,
Okay.
yeah.
Some magical plant growth going on.
Yeah, it's not much, but there's definitely some plant growth that wasn't there before, sort of wrapping around some of the rocks. And
A little bit of algae, a little bit of moss.
yeah. And you know that if this is to be a full garden, then this is at some point going to be a dragon nest, or was a dragon nest, one of the two.
Babies.
It's a miracle.
It's a blood-stained miracle.
Listen.
Yeah, we're listening.
Alrighty.
No.
Vost is just peering at this, and eventually mutters, "Yeah, even if I bombed it loose, those plants would hold it in place."
So
That's.
anyways.
I haven't
Back
seen
to it.
much of anything like that.
Probably not, no.
My schemes and miracles are more pedestrian. That's actually something
Magic.
approaching magic over there. That's the kind of glance between Siva and the newly plant-covered rock and be like, wait, what? This is real? What?
Mint, did you not believe me this entire time?
Oh no!
Did I say that out loud?
Quivering bottom.
Did I say that out loud? Oops.
Did you?
I think I did.
Did you?
I figured if the dragons existed, they've been long gone, extinct or in hiding for ages. Just taking the pragmatic approach.
Well, they are sleeping and dreaming, but they always existed, and they still do exist. Mint, come on.
Look, I've only got so much brain space to worry about things, and I try to worry about the things that are happening to us right now, not the things that might happen in some apocalypse dream.
But Mint, you want to know the best part? You don't have to worry about any of that. Because in the end, everything's going to be wonderful.
Don't worry about a thing. 'Cause every little thing is gonna be alright.
I prefer to.
Is that how it goes? I thought it meant everything little thing is going to be a light.
No, that is the. I should not make that joke. Never mind.
Why does every group of Vagabonds
never mind.
I pull together include at least one pyromaniac?
Sounds like a personal problem.
It does. But more to the point, I prefer making things better by my own paw. That's just.
Sorry, I just picked. Go ahead.
That's just how I prefer to live, and no amount of religious comfort is going to tear me away from that. That's the truth, Siva.
That's all right. As long as you understand that I was not lying. At any point.
I did not think you were, for what it's worth, I didn't think you were trying to grift anybody. You always sounded like you genuinely believed what you were saying, and I disagreed personally, but I didn't want to take that away from you.
Oh, Mint. There is no way you could take this from me, even if you tried.
Exactly. I knew that going into this. But anyway,
so
we've got a scheme
real
to
fast.
finish.
Real fast, I just wanted to say I pictured Mint doing they come here, they always come here. How do they find me? Producers.
Yep. Just all these bombers and pyromaniacs. How do they keep finding me?
I need to have Mint meet the cat in the iron mask now.
Oh man.
That is one of Verme's characters from a previous Root game I ran.
Let me guess, another in a long line of...
He's much more stabby than explodey, but... Sorry.
Yeah.
Much more stabby than explodey, but they are very, very much still a scoundrel.
Yeah, what is with all these scoundrels?
It's fun. And also, it was one of the few classes available when we played that game. Anywho.
Still,
yes.
Why is that class so ridiculously fun to play?
Probably because one of the exhaustion tracks is Arsonist, which is just if you cause needless destruction or damage to solve a problem, you're no longer exhausted.
Makes sense.
That and it's a luck-based class, so it's like
also
really
true.
fun to play.
Yeah.
Also
Needlessly destructive. Witness what happened to Helltooth.
There's
Witness
that like
exhaustion track did get cleared.
there's that luck armor where it's like if you rush in and don't care about anything, you actually get advantages.
Mhm.
Oh, goodness.
So, all right. So, are y'all heading back to Spine Rock?
Yep.
Okay.
We're leaving the refugees now with Isolos to take them to... I keep forgetting the names of the clearings.
No worries. It's one with the 2-week breaks in between, and they're not like terribly memorable, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
But you're leaving Helltooth to go to Spine Rock.
Yep.
While we're on the trip, at some point, Vost does walk up to Mint and whisper,
sorry, but before we do that, just like is our ability to leave the clearing terribly impeded by the chaos we've just caused?
or is it facilitated?
It's facilitated.
Yeah.
The guards are busy dealing with the they're gathering forces. Some people assume some of the guards assume this is an attack on Publia, so they're guarding her. Doubling down on that. A lot of them were injured, so that's being dealt with, and those that weren't are heading there instead of towards the edges of Helltooth.
And some of them are flying far, far away thanks to us.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Some of them. Think of the lake monster.
All right, well,
So
that helps at least. So yeah, we were able to, in the dead of night, because we still haven't entirely slept, we were able to get back on the trail.
Exfiltrate, yes.
It's a good thing that some of y'all cleared your exhaustion.
I didn't.
All right.
Right.
I did say some. I did very specify some. So, all right. This is another traveling move. So, are you going through the forest or along the path?
I'd
go for the path.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna go along the path.
All right. So, at a relaxing pace, everyone clears 3 exhaustion and collectively marks 2 depletion with a -1 to the roll. At an average pace, everyone clears 2 exhaustion. The band collectively marks 1 depletion plus 0 to the roll. Safely, quickly, and under the radar, the band collectively marks 1 depletion for supplies plus 1 to the roll. Urgently fast, everyone marks exhaustion, take +2 to the roll.
I kind of need to clear my exhaustion. I've got 2 out of 4.
The safely, quickly, and under the radar.
That provides no exhaustion clearing, just so you know.
I'm thinking at an average pace. Any
average pace, yeah.
counterpoints or objections?
So who's marking depletion?
Okay, I have 1 so far.
I also have
I
1
have 2
depletion
so
so
far.
far. I'll mark the depletion.
Okay.
Both of them?
All right. There's only 1 for...
Oh, there's only 1
pace.
for that one? Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm
So
now
it's at an average pace. The 1 depletion is like you're eating, drinking, not doing too much on the road kind of thing.
I'll advance at the end of this.
Okay.
I think possibly Siva does too.
Yeah. It's the same one, right?
Wanderlust.
And yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, and I forgot to do the advance from last time.
That's fine. While someone needs to make that roll real fast, and you can determine that while that's happening. And I describe the consequences of your actions.
All right. I already advanced for chaos from getting the warden out. I'll go ahead and roll the thingamabob. Just 2d6 straight up.
Yep.
Cha. That'll be a 9.
A 9. You encounter something noteworthy on the path. Okay. Give me just a second. I need to close the door real fast because I'm hearing voices and it's kind of distracting me.
Yeah. Oh no, the voices again. What are the chances it's a consequence of our own actions we encounter? Yeah, my mastermind style does not gel well with the Scoundrel, I think it turns out.
Yeah, that's probably true.
the needless destruction which they thrive on is antithetical to the clean paws cons that I thrive on. It's kind of diametrically opposed.
So here is what you see on the path. You see a mockingbird who looks exhausted, and he is flanked by 2 guards. Both are burrowing owls, and they appear to be walking fairly close to one another, but also still keeping an eye on this mockingbird. And you hear them mention that, or specifically what you hear is the mockingbird mumbling under his breath and then saying, turning to the 2 owls behind him and going, "And you're sure you didn't see or hear anything in the vault?" And the 2 owls both shake their head and look really confused and go, "Could have sworn I heard something. Maybe it was the door opening or someone walking about, and something seemed out of place, but no, I need to check my books again." And those of you who are in the vault recognize that was the voice of the person who was counting.
Did someone take something?
No, nobody took anything.
Okay.
Other than an impression, but that wasn't
anything.
Yeah. But y'all did, to get towards the impression, you might have accidentally moved some stuff around. Just sort of, because there's a lot of stuff in general in that vault.
Yep.
Oh, so he's one of those people.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if you manage that vault, you kind of have to have a really good memory.
Yeah.
So
we're just gonna whistle and keep on walking, I think.
Mm-hmm. But fortunately, with a 9, it's just something noteworthy, nothing dangerous.
Yeah. Thank goodness.
So fantastic. The other thing, go ahead.
While we're on the path away from this, either before or after, Vost does step up to Mint and whisper, "So you do know how to take the dragons away from Siva, if you have to, right?"
Vost, I cannot, at this point, ever pretend to know what's going on in your head, so why don't you just say it?
Tell her, she believes the dragons are coming. This is true. She believes the dragons are good. The dragons are people.
The
dragons are no good or
that's not remotely how religion works. You understand that, right?
Out of character, there is a reason there are multiple factions of the wizard cult. She is painfully aware of this.
Yeah, she's already dealing with a schism in her own cult. She's aware that people think that the dragons are not perfect, and she's clearly made a choice. It's never as simple as it's Vost.
Also,
not everything can be changed with an explosion. That's not how everything works.
I would like to note that the sort of equivalent would that Vost just said would be like, yeah, we all know Bigfoot commits tax fraud.
Exactly.
It's just like that. Not what?
That is. Yeah, sure, the dragons are real and they're people, but like people that we idolize are still people. But we still they still, you know, people who are regarded as saints or whatever are still flawed. But it's she doesn't believe that in the dragons that hard because she thinks the dragons are so great, but because she needs them to be so great. You understand that?
Her need is her weakness. Yes, I understand that.
I don't think you do. And and you, because you just said that it would be so easy to change her mind. Like
I did not say this would be easy. I never said it would be easy.
No, you can't take away someone's belief like taking candy from a child.
It takes work. Yes, I know.
I've tried. Some people will not let go.
Yes, well, that is rather the problem that this island faces too, is it not?
Kind of give Vost a steady stare for a moment and then turn back to the path.
Vost sighs, shakes his head, and plods on.
Oh,
I've tried. I've tried with some people.
We'll say it feels very weird to have this conversation near Siva, especially when she's been like nothing but fine.
No, I don't have a problem with Siva. I'm defending Siva here.
Oh, I know. I just like it just strikes me as a very strange conversation, especially since like y'all still don't know that dragons are real. Magic being real is a whole separate thing. Like there are people out, like there are already like whispers in the forest of like people being able to do extraordinary things akin to magic. So like it's not that unbelievable that there could maybe be two separate categories.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So you all arrive at Spine Rock with relatively little trouble. You can all clear one exhaustion as stated, or 2 exhaustion. Sorry. And when you arrive, where do you go first?
Somewhere to get some rest for the rest of the night, at least a few hours.
I think there you could try and get into an inn if there is one available, or you could possibly check with Charlotte, see if she'll let you stay at her library for a while. She might have some extra places to stay.
That might be the thing. Yeah.
All right, so you're gonna go to the library then?
Well, I'll let most of the party go to the library, but I'll see if I'll drop by Achillea's place and see if she's up at this ungodly hour.
Okay. Is that where everyone else wants to go to the library? Or, because I mean, as a group, you can decide whatever.
Going to the library because there might be things in the library.
Might be more books.
More books.
A library?
Books.
A library with books in it? Who would, what a concept.
Yeah, at this point, I think Yuki will just stick around Siva, I guess, because she is just basically in to help finish the job that she started. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And Vost goes with the 2 out of 3 group. Technically 3 out of 4 if we're assuming Brixie comes too.
Okay. All right. Then in that case, yeah, the party splits up. So, if you go to so going to Achillia's, her sort of cabbage farm at the outskirts of town, or what passes as a cabbage farm, because she is not good at it. You see that there are obviously a few station guards. And you see, once again, there is a out in the field. There's that same rabbit from before, still just going wild on a training dummy. Looks like he's been through several at this point, but he is still practicing his military might, his martial arts. Achillia does not seem to be up.
All right. I write a memo that Skyus wants her to cross over and meet with him personally to confirm their alliance against Publia and Claudius. And that we're back in town at the library, and we'll talk in the morning. I slipped that under a front door with the guard's permission.
Yep, the guard will let you do that. And then you can head off to the library.
All right.
So yeah, the Charlotte will gladly let you stay. She doesn't have much, but she has a few extra sort of padded blankets she can lay down that you can use to sort of as a impromptu sleeping bag of sorts, to sort of just rest in the library. She looks very tired. She looks like she actually hasn't slept herself yet. And that the lot of you were a welcome distraction from whatever she was working on.
Huh.
So
something bothering you?
She smiles and says, "No, just all of the festivities went well into the night, and I'm not one to participate, but I like to keep records of everything, so..."
Right, still on the same day of the festival, right?
Yeah, it was, yeah, the festival is definitely done now, but it looks like she was making a record of everything that happened today. So she will actually ask you how Howltooth was.
Not
if any of you would like to explain that.
Not as much howling these days.
Nor truth. They may have to rename it.
She will look at the two of you curiously at that and say, "Did something happen?"
You'll hear about it by morning, I'm sure. Of course, we had nothing to do with it, but it was quite dramatic when we were there.
It was very dramatic, and for us, very off-screen.
Yeah.
So, okay. She will accept that as an answer. She seems to be a bit too tired to deal with it. And yeah, you all will be able to rest. Right. Does anyone want to do anything before they rest, or as soon as they get up in the morning?
Not particularly.
Going through the library until I pass out on a book.
All right. Everyone can clear 1 exhaustion for resting. And if you have an injury, I believe you can also clear 1 of those. Depletion, unfortunately, not fixed by sleep.
Yeah.
We're still poor.
You are still poor in physical items, but rich in friendship, and also this sword you found.
How do I like prepare my wear or repair my wear on like my gear?
The wear, I believe you have to have someone with the repair skill fix it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think there's also a tag it can be given.
I have tightly woven, which I think I already did. Did I only take one last time?
I think so. Yeah. When you take a few
seconds, I can
to
just remove that one then.
Yeah. I think with tightly woven, it's you can do like the quick repairs, but generally speaking, for fixing stuff, you gotta go to someone who knows what they're doing, which is one of the benefits of having the inventor in your the tinker in your party.
Ah.
Yep. So, anywho, you all get some sleep. You feel a little bit better than you did during the very, very long yesterday. I mean, it was only like 6 hours, but it felt like forever.
Yeah, no kidding.
It felt like a month.
Vost dreams of writing a story that is somehow equivalent to a bomb.
So it's a book.
I guess
that
it
bombs.
sold well.
No, it sold poorly.
It bombs.
It bombs.
I suppose that is also a thing. My brain was going, this is the bomb.
Well, like a mimetic bomb, but yes. Or as we would know it.
Yes.
That's a blockbuster. That's slightly different.
Similar, but different. The morning arrives. You all wake up feeling a little bit better. And the day has begun. Achillea has not shown up yet, though. What would you like to do?
Head over and visit.
Okay. Charlotte is going to ask if she can go with you.
May I ask why?
I've been meaning to do an interview with the consul and get her side of the stories for my library.
That's fair, but if things go the way we need them to, she may be heading out of the clearing for a while. You may have to postpone.
Well, if she heads out of the clearing and dies, then I won't get what I need either.
Fair.
I have this, like, incredibly ominous feeling on my shoulder right now.
All right, come along.
The 5 or 6 of you head over to Achillea's cabin, to her farm. The guards have shifted, and the soldiers are out doing their training, the newer recruits. The rabbit that you saw last night and yesterday is no longer there. As you knock on the door, it opens, and that rabbit is the one who answers. He's fairly young, and he looks very tired, but he also looks like he doesn't sleep that much anyway. He's very wiry and full of energy, and he looks at the lot of you and goes, "And what do you have business with Consul Achillea?"
I'm kind of take a pause at that, and not expecting this kid to be the doorman, but say we have prior business with her that we need to resolve.
he will look at you extremely suspiciously.
I was here I was here yesterday, my dude.
He has his hand firmly on his sword, but it's not drawn out yet.
I spread my arms and be like, look at me. Do I look like I'm carrying any lethal weapon? Look, this is my blackjack. I'm holding it with 2 fingers from the end. And be like, this is the only weapon I've got on me. Come on.
He will glare at you and then say, hold your position. And then we'll slam the door in your face.
Unbelievable.
Someone takes their job very seriously.
Someone, yeah, that's pretty much the summary. Yeah. Not sure it's strictly his job, though.
As long as it makes him happy.
Yeah, that's kind of probably it.
A few minutes later, Achillea opens the door, and you see the rabbit sulking in the back of the room. She looks at the 5 of you and says, come in, come in.
Well, we met up with Skyus, who happened to be in Houndstooth for the moment. And
is that so?
Yeah. He was trying to chat up Publia, but Publia wasn't having it.
I'm not surprised. So, how did he feel about your proposition?
Well, he's not going to take it from us. He wants to hear it from you in person. Which, of course, means crossing over the soft borders you all have set up.
Of course. Figures that the coward didn't feel comfortable coming to me personally, but I suppose there's only so much I can do. Very well. Allow me to get some food and clean up a bit, and then I suppose we shall gather up and march. Are any of you hungry? Do you want some breakfast?
Yeah, how do you anticipate this going down with us crossing over probably Publia's border to get to Skyus?
I'd like to see her try and stop me.
I think your wish will come true is my problem.
Well, fortunately for you, we have my most loyal bodyguard Thomas to accompany us, as well as any guards I might feel comfortable taking, but... And she will leave, start heading out of the room, and she will pat a sword on the wall. What it looks, it's being used as a decoration, but you can tell that this weapon has been used for some serious violence. One moment.
Now, where did we... Was it in this clearing that we met Karl Hundsmeister?
I think, yes. I think it was in the library.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was looking at stuff and we were looking at stuff.
Yeah, okay.
I apologize. My mother needed to ask me a question. She was just standing right in front of me, and I was like, I guess I need to answer this first.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So,
while she's sitting up and getting breakfast and whatnot, I kind of want to ask around and see if Karl Hundsmeister is still in town in this clearing.
Okay. So are any of you staying at Achillea's for breakfast, or are you going to head out and do that and then come back later?
I was thinking just like grab like a bite and then head out for a bit.
Okay.
And then come back.
If food's being offered, the Vost is not going to turn down the hospitality.
Fair enough. I apologize. One moment, my dog got locked in here and now she's whining.
Oh, yeah. Busy day today. So
It's been a little busy on this side, too.
Vost, do you want to come with me to talk to Karl Hundmeister?
If I can help you, sure.
Maybe. Because you said
I'll take your lead.
Because I think you need him for your plan, is what I'm thinking.
Hey, so many distractions today. Okay, so you're just gonna grab a bite and take it on the road while you look to see if Karl is still in the clearing.
Yep.
All right, I think you need to trust fate here.
Pretty much. And my luck is not anything, so... Dum-de-dum.
Good.
6.
A 6. I think with that luck, no. Karl is out. He got what he needed yesterday, and he left.
All right, then. It was worth a shot.
In fact, the last person who saw him was Charlotte.
Ah. Well, then there we go.
Yep.
All right. It was a lead I wanted to chase down, but that makes sense.
All right.
By any chance, is he heading the way that we want to go?
No, he's going back to Windbrisk in the opposite direction.
Yep.
He's got something to report, after all.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, Achillea will provide you breakfast, and as you are sitting down, those of you who are staying, Charlotte gets up and says, excuse me a moment. And she approaches Consul Achillea and pulls out the dagger that you gave her.
Uh-oh.
I knew I felt something for a reason.
I think I am going to use just quickly dart out forward and use my new weapon skill that I just got from my advancement to disarm.
All right. Okay, with disarm, that is a... Sorry, one moment. Where is that?
Weapon skills.
Weapon skill.
Weapon.
Disarm. When you target an opponent's weapon with your strikes at close range, roll with finesse.
Okay. Okay, well, I don't actually have anything in finesse, so we'll see how this goes.
Oh, cool, my new skill. Oh, the attribute it requires is nothing. Uh-oh.
Oh.
At least it's not a minus, I guess.
Yeah.
Be worse.
Oh no.
I should have not opened
no one can help me now.
Oh.
I could, because I can disarm too, but I probably can't because it's too late.
Everyone has a shot. Everyone who's here at breakfast.
I don't have... My only weapon skill's improvise, so improvised weapon. So, I could pick up, a mug or something and fling it, so that's about it.
Oh, no!
Does it need a 7 or an 8 to win? Because someone can assist her.
It is. Oh, yes, a 7. Okay, so if someone assists...
You just mark an exhaustion, she gets a 7.
Yeah, that will go up to a success if someone marks exhaustion.
Okay, we're all here, right? So this is after Mint and Vost return?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then my exhaustion track's cleared. I'm marking exhaustion.
Okay. How would you like to describe your assistance to Siva's attempt to disarm Charlotte?
Are we allowed to fastball?
To fastball?
No.
Fastball.
Because
fastball.
My weapon, which is a giant book, so no, you cannot fastball me.
How small is the assailant? Can we fastball that person?
You're trying to disarm the dagger from her hand. Let's stick within the lane here.
Yeah, I kind of wonder, what happens with my failed attempt, and then we see what
I
happens with the correct one? Like, I assume I'm getting stabbed.
You're not, actually. I think it's a matter of having, like, because this is a wholly new space for you, you're just having that moment where you're not the drawing your blade ends up catching on something you weren't expecting, is how I'm picturing it. But
like over onto Yuki and then just gets body checked by a giant book.
I mean, that's
Vost will actually grab the actual dagger because the book is being clubbed on the assailant.
That sounds fine to me. Okay, yeah. In that case, Charlotte takes some damage, and the weapon is out of her hands. And she's still going for Achillea, hands outstretched, like she wants to try and strangle her, but she's a bit held back by the lot of you. And Achillea looks at the lot of you, looks at Charlotte, and then turns to the rest of you and goes, "And what the hell is this?"
Your guess at this precise second is as good as ours. What the hell is this, Charlotte?
Charlotte looks not furious, but hurt. And she's not yelling, she's not screaming, but she's looking at Achillea with just absolute misery in her eyes and saying, "You can't be in charge again. Not after all you've done. Not after everyone you've hurt. You can't. You can't."
And completely ignoring the moment, Vost walks over to Mint. This looks like a dagger. Hands over the weapon.
Thank you, Vost.
You're welcome.
What would you like to do?
Well,
Achillea is
like
not looking pleased.
Looks like you've got some sins of the past to answer for, Achillea.
Yuki will look at Charlotte and be like, "So your answer is to assassinate her in dishonorable cold blood?"
Charlotte looks at you, Yuki, and goes, "There's nothing honorable about what she did. I'm comfortable ending her and then ending myself."
Ooh.
Now, what exactly did she do to deserve that?
I mean, there's
Detail, please.
There's a list. There's a long career, is the problem.
Yeah, it would take days.
There's history books on the reasons why.
Yeah, again, like when Mint met her, it was the realization of, oh god, this is the talons that strangled the Eastwood.
Yep. And really, I was hoping that some retirement had mellowed her out and helped her focus more on helping out the denizens here than trying to become a military stranglehold once again. That's a level of faith that not everyone has.
Achillea is going to rise from her seat, look at the lot of you, and say, "I expect you'll keep hold of our prisoner, yes?" I expect an answer.
Do you not have guards?
I'm planning to travel with you, which would make guarding her and keeping her in your presence difficult.
I mean, just for a few moments.
Yeah, we can hold on
For
to
a
her
few
for
moments
a few
we can
moments,
do.
yeah.
Achillea leaves the room and comes back with her sword.
No, There will be there is no violence, no violence, no violence, no. No. I'm not doing the voice right now, no.
Just have her arrested for attempted murder. No need for this.
If there's one thing I've learned in my long and storied career, it's that you do not let people who would waltz into your home and try to kill you back out. Because those people talk. And those people love to make friends. And those people will not stop trying.
Do you like to justify their anger and fury? Because killing her will only make it worse.
Is this how you intend to lead Ironclaw? Starting with this act?
She will look at you, Mint, and say, as I recall, what you asked was a deal between military might and dealing with citizens, and I am not the person you asked to deal with citizens.
Then don't deal with this one. Whether the public criticism and
you are someone is going to need to roll here.
Yep. Persuade an NPC. That's mine.
You're probably higher than me. Yup. If that's charm, please, I will help you, but...
Okay. 11.
Okay. I think you have given a strong enough motive that she will stay her hand.
You need to lead in a different way than you did before. You're going to be in charge of a different type of place than you were before. This was not the way, and it is not the way. This is why you retired powerful, but I gesture around at the cabbage farm with plenty of respect, but no friends.
She actually laughs at that and says, I moved out here to be away from all of my so-called friends. But I suppose you're right. I am getting on in years, and unfortunately I am not Felucria, so there's only so much I can do in my old age. Get her out of my sight. I'll meet you at the edge of town in an hour.
Will do. And I gesture for everyone to help Charlotte get out of here in one piece.
So, yeah. It sounded like you were going to say something,
Vermin? I think, yeah, that's probably good enough. I was thinking to just, like, I don't know, have the like, bunny guard guy do something useful for once.
You probably don't want Thomas doing this.
Yeah, that's true.
Given what he did to those training dummies and how fervently he seems to believe in Achillea.
Yeah.
Probably do not want.
Let's find a different guard, I guess, to get her to.
No, we take her out ourselves. It's time for us to leave.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Vost hangs back and kneels to Achillea. If I may, my lady.
I look like a Vost.
As you wish. Vost gets up and leaves.
Yeah, Achillea almost got stabbed there, possibly assassinated. She's not in the mood.
Yeah.
Um,
Good read of the room there, Vost.
Good news. Great. In fact, great news. Nobody noticed that the dagger had a Marquisat symbol on it.
Yeah, happened a little too quick for that, and I make sure to make sure that's pocketed and not in plain view when I make my way out.
Mm-hmm. So, once outside, Charlotte is basically limp. She has failed what she set out to do, and she is not going to fight. So,
I don't really have comforting words for her, but
Charlotte, this is not the person that you came to assassinate. I know. I came to assassinate her too.
What?
I came with the notion of taking leaders who caused the disaster we fled from. The person that this leader once was one of them. But as you can see, this in here in front of us, this is not that leader. She has changed.
Not necessarily for entirely the better, but
better enough in my book.
That's not comforting.
Charlotte is only going to say, "The blood she spills will be on your hands, not mine."
Fair. But I trust she is going to cause less blood to be spilled this way.
Here's the problem. And this is where Mint starts to kind of get a faraway look, and he says, the entire forest is screwed up like this. If I could remove all of the Eerie and all of the Marquisat and everybody and just let the denizens figure out their own stuff, I would. But every time I think I've got it figured out, someone else muscles in and just takes them all out, takes everything they have while they're vulnerable. Someone else always moves in. And so the stupid forest still needs someone to not just looking out for the denizens, but protecting them.
Boss looks directly at Mint and says, "Yes, Mint."
And that's so that's always a trade-off between how much blood is going to be spilled and whose blood is going to be spilled.
Indeed. The question is...
Charlotte's going to look at you, Mint, and say, I am a denizen of this wood, and I decided for myself, and you took that away from me.
Because we are also denizens, and we made our decision as well. Well, no, I suppose not. We're vagabonds.
Vagabonds are denizens too.
I don't know about that some days.
How long until you sit upon a throne?
I am not going to sit on a throne.
You say that. And perhaps literally you will never.
Vost, the past 24 hours has made incredibly clear that you and I are very different. Don't
indeed
project yourself upon me, please.
No. I know that I am not someone who gains denizens' trust. I know that I am not one who can lead. We are quite different, yes.
Okay. Sorry, I missed some of that because I got a phone call.
That's fine. I say, Charlotte, what would you have us do instead? How would you fix all this?
I don't know.
Give it all to Skyus? Let him figure out both domestic policy and defense?
I don't know. I don't have the answers. I just know that she should not be in charge.
Publia? Claudius? Who?
As I said, I don't have the answers. So yeah, this was Charlotte's basically was just her whole thing is just trying to get rid of Achillea.
Yep, that much is clear.
She didn't have strong opinions on any other part of this conflict, just that Achillea was a danger to everybody.
She might not be entirely wrong.
But if you wish to repay our saving of your life,
no, don't, Vost.
Please,
don't.
please,
Vost! Vost!
Please consider.
Vost! Let her go. Do what you want. Turn yourself in for attempted murder, or don't. Just keep on living your life. We're not going to make that decision for you.
So you're letting her go?
Yes.
Okay. Charlotte will head back to her library, and that will be it. She'll to clarify, it looks like she is going to be leaving the Ironclaw and possibly the woodland. So
probably for the best.
Looks, yeah. All right. Sorry that got heavy.
I mean, this is heavy stuff we're dealing with, so.
Yeah. I mean, sorry it got so heavy so fast. So yes, would you like to do anything in the hour you have before Achillea meets up with you? You do have that vault.
Well, we're hoping to get stuff from that later as a favor. Do we want to...
Are you going to have time to get something from it later?
Once things start going down.
Mm-hmm.
Yuki, do we want to try and grab your master's things?
She'll nod.
All right.
Okay. To the vault then.
We know that the bean counter left the clearing for a while. They may be back already, but we're already in this deep. We've already knocked over a damn secret prison. And things are just going to keep blowing up around here. We might as well. We don't have a plan, but we have the entrance. And if need be, we can bluff and claw our way out.
Would it be easier for you if I stayed out here?
No, come along. We may need you.
Alrighty. As you approach the vault, you can see there is a scroll leaning up right against where that secret door is.
A scroll?
Mm-hmm.
Like a sign? What does it say?
Well, it's rolled up.
Okay, I unroll it.
It is a lovely handwritten note that says, I've done you the favor of removing the guards. Just don't take too much while you're in there. Isolos.
Oh. Well, okay then. Open up the door and let's get going.
All right.
Yeah.
So yes, now that they're, or go ahead.
I was going to say, I guess, like, as soon as they get in then, and Yuki's sure that there isn't any guards, that she'll head towards where she saw those things.
So allow me to, now that there are no guards and you are free to explore, allow me to paint a bit of a picture.
Mm-hmm.
The vault is enormous. It is, as I previously stated, a mole city that fell to ruin and has been stockpiled with gold and treasure. Hanging from one of the doors is the kimono that belongs to Yuki's master. Gold coins from different ages and different currencies are spilling out of every doorway, are piled up in large mountains. This is a hoard fit for a dragon. But along with that, there are also some items that are stranger, things that are treasures that have value to someone, perhaps, but don't necessarily have monetary value. And those appear to be hidden inside these various buildings, stored away out of sight. Some of the things you see are a bloodstained fang the size of a sword. There's a fractured orb of pure sapphire. There are pin feathers hidden in one of the buildings as large as a person. In one of the rooms, you find a sealed bottle that has an entire ecosystem in it, with a tree growing, attempting to pry open the top. There's a large piece of furred hide treated to be worn like a cloak, made of this pitch black fur. There are those paintings that you found, the Molish ones, the First Supper and the Vitruvian Man. And then hidden away in the very back of the room, there is a small pitch black figure of a cat. It looks ancient. Which is strange because, as far as you all know, cats have never been here before. Oh. Does anything strike your fancy?
The fang, the fang, the fang, the fang, the fang, the fang.
Do you even have a bag big enough to carry that?
I will carry it on my freaking back if I have to.
I mean, I guess it's just only as big as a sword, so...
Mm-hmm.
I carry a book that I have envisioned is literally half the size of Siva, so...
Yeah.
All right. So, fortunately for you, Siva, the weight of it is 3, so you are burdened, but not over-encumbered.
It's just okay. We
is,
do these things for reasons.
This is a dense tooth.
Worth the suffering.
Vost is going to assess and see if there is anything that looks like Islos may benefit from not being here.
It does nothing. Well, I guess trust fate in that regard.
Okay. Nine.
9. Okay. With a 9, let me pull up the playbook again, make sure I'm not getting anything off. Dang it. Scrolling the wrong direction. Sorry. Okay. I think what strikes you as things that need to be removed that could benefit Islos is actually the Molish paintings. Which will be difficult because one of them is built into the wall.
How sturdy is this wall? How solidly constructed? Or is it cave wall?
It is part of the cave wall.
Okay. Vost runs his fingers along the edge. How sturdy is this?
It's a cave wall.
Fairly sturdy.
Already.
It is inherently load-bearing. Because
that was going to be his next question, yes.
I know where this is going.
Okay, if it's load-bearing, is there a way to reroute the load?
I don't know how you would do that.
Sure, because weight is just like wires. It's just like electric currents.
Well, like, can he buttress the wall against one of these structures?
You would have to carve it out over the course of weeks to remove this thing safely.
He has explosives.
You'd have to chisel it out.
Explosives are not a safe way to move rock. So the basically what I'm getting at is you can destroy a painting without destroying the painting, if that makes sense.
It doesn't.
Like you can ruin a painting without blowing it up.
Okay.
There are ways to get around that.
And ruining it would be of use to Isolos, probably.
So what this is how I'm going to phrase the thought process is that this is clearly a molish city. On the off chance that moles are still real and exist, then that would mean they could lay claim to literally all of this. And Isolos, for all of his scheming, still wouldn't like that. Everything else is like comfortably of unknown origin or definitely eerie. That is sort of a symbol of like, I don't know if we should have these.
Okay, so the buildings wouldn't be clearly molish.
No.
Hasn't Brixie met a mole?
She has, yes.
Right, so for purposes of this calculation, Vost is taking it on faith that yes, moles exist. And so, assuming they exist, these are the only things that they could use to lay claim to this vault if they found it. Mm-hmm. Is that what I'm hearing correctly?
Yes, and given that Signor Sforza was very interested in, proving that this land belonged to him.
Well then, yes, Vost has no need to get out with this loot. He just needs to destroy those two paintings, which he sets about doing with mute. Go ahead. Spud, you were saying something?
Do we need to? Do we care?
You don't need to.
I have
Vost is trying to make a good impression on Isolos.
Here.
The thing is, this is actually a mole city, is the thing, and those are cultural heirlooms that you are planning to destroy.
And Isolos did also say that, like, don't take too much.
Yeah, that would also, like, very clearly announce our presence that we've looted the heck out of this place.
I think you'll do fine as far as, like, I'll be blunt, you already made a good impression on Isolos. I don't think you need to worry about that.
The Corvid conspiracy guy was already pretty happy with us taking out the political prison.
Mm-hmm. If you, like, if that's in Vost's nature that he's, like, still extremely worried about that, perfectly fine. But I just want to throw that out there that, like,
worried about it, but it's not an overriding concern. If it looks like we can't do this, or he couldn't do this without doing too much, which it sounds like he couldn't, then he examines it, he ponders, and then passes and just takes some coin. Because he is low on depletion.
Yeah,
besides,
and this will restock your depletion, by the way.
The mole having a legitimate claim to this place is a bit of leverage that can be saved for later. That's what Mint is thinking.
All right.
But what Mint's going to go for is probably not a whole lot more of like the gold and currency than he needs to clear his depletion track.
Mm-hmm.
But more specifically, some of the more like curios and stolen art pieces and whatnot, the museum pieces, as much as he can.
There are definitely
like the cat statue or the statuette.
Okay.
And maybe the forest in a bottle as well. Anything.
Okay.
If there's anything that has like a name on it that seems like it might belong to a denizen.
There are a few rings and such that you can find that appear to have someone's name etched into them. All of those items that I mentioned, if you look closely, someone has marked, like there's a small note underneath each item, basically, that will it's more for like notation purposes. It's clearly in like the forgive the pun, chicken scratch of the the guy who was of the bird who is managing everything. But it's a certain notation, and basically all of those items that I laid out have a note written by him around them. So the big fang he has labeled as the beast's prize. The fractured orb is called the Eye of the Isleback. The pin feathers were referred to as Volucria's departure. The sealed bottle just says a deer's antler.
Huh.
And when you look at it, you can see it's not actually a tree. It is an antler, but it has all of the qualities of a tree, and it is supporting a full ecosystem in there. As you look closer, you can see there are small animals in there.
What?
Like Forest Spirit and Mononoke.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Okay, so
deer.
This is an item of actual mystical power.
Yes.
And
deer are scary.
Mm-hmm. They are.
And I probably don't want the eerie.
In real life, they are scary too.
The large furred hide is called the Barghest's cloak. And the small the kimono has a label that says clothing from Yamato, which is the name of that country. And the small pitch black figure of a cat just labeled as a cat statuette. It doesn't have a name. But there's also a question mark on it because as you got closer and grabbed it, you can see there is some kind of writing on it. You can't quite read it, but you can feel it etched into the stone.
Huh.
Yeah, Yuki will look at it and just be like, it's creepy.
It is creepy.
Is it worth taking an impression of the reading so we can more clearly read?
You can certainly try. If that's what you would like to do.
Just take a charcoal impression.
Out of character, I'm like...
So I'm gonna take the cracked sapphire, the deer's antler, and the cat statuette.
Okay. And
Because
everybody can mark or everybody can clear 2 depletion for perusing the vault and taking what you need.
Yeah, Yuki will just take those things and I guess enough to cover what she's already done and what she expects to use in finishing the job for the person who allowed her to take things from it.
So yeah, and as I said, like the coinage, you can see it comes from like several different eras. There are different figures imprinted on the coins. Some are eerie, some are denizen, and some are like they've also clearly taken coin from the cats.
Collector's items.
Yeah, basically.
Who has their little box thing with all the coins that you can put in? Of all the states.
I have that.
I do too.
Okay. So, you all grab what you will, can clear 2 depletion from your chart, and anything else?
So, Vost exploring will in fact take those rubbings from the statue. Are they legible or are they foreign language?
They are legible. Let me. Man, how familiar would Vost be with the cats?
He has picked up gunpowder, and the cats are probably the only place he would have been able to pick them up. Or pick up knowledge about how to make gunpowder, so.
Alright, so you've picked up the knowledge, you probably haven't picked up the language, though.
Oh, he's probably picked up some of the language. I mean, they would not have translated their knowledge to local, that knowledge to local terms yet.
Mm-hmm.
So
fair enough.
He would have had to do the translation, so he would have know the cat's language.
Okay.
Not like solid native, but certainly at least archaeologist grade.
Okay. This is pretty old text, so I think you still would have some difficulty reading it, but you do recognize a few words, namely black cat, warriors, and prison. Those seem like the words you would be most familiar with, if I may be blunt.
Yeah.
There also seems to be a name on there, but you can't read it because the text is too old.
After marking under translations, he then shows it to Vost and Yuki. Or sorry, to Mint and Yuki. Either of you recognize this?
She'll look at it and... I mean... I wouldn't... She wouldn't recognize it, right?
No.
Like, it's cat. Okay,
Old
yeah.
cat language, yeah.
She'll shake her head, but she'll kind of look at it and look at Vost, and then go, something about it, I don't like it.
I'm more concerned with I'm more concerned with modern Marquisat than ancient cat culture, but this seems significant, so I'm taking it.
Okay.
You're taking the statue?
Yeah.
Vost hands over his rubbings and translation then.
Yeah, might as well.
All right. Anything else while y'all are in here?
So we should, if we're making rubbings anyway, I think you should take rubbings of the mole cave paintings.
I mean,
I've already those in my book.
Yeah, Siva already did some rough approximations in her book.
Oh, okay then. Never mind then. Okay.
And one of them isn't painted on the wall. One of them is in a frame.
Ah.
The Vitruvian man is in a frame. The First Supper is the one on the wall.
Vitruvian man.
Wait, is this Vitruvian man or Vitruvian mole?
Man.
It's human.
As I described it, it was extremely weird to look at.
Yeah.
Just too many fingers, weird looking ape thing.
And hairless, almost.
Almost hairless, yes. Anywho.
So almost repeating the same crime trigger Vost advance again?
I don't think so.
No, we were pretty much invited
what was the
in
crime?
here.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, y'all were basically invited in this time.
Like we're stealing out of the Erie's nose, but we're not facing pretty much any challenge to do it. So, and when they go looking for the criminals, they're not going to be pointing at us. They'll be, yeah, no, this is not really in the same ballpark as Chaos or Clean Paws or anything.
All right. If there's nothing else, then y'all can meet up with Achillia.
All right, then.
Okay. You meet up with Achillia. She has Thomas, the rabbit guard, with her. He looks suitably hyped up to actually be leaving the clearing. Achillia multiple times has him put his sword back up. Achillia is dressed in full regalia. She is in her military uniform with her sword. Nearly being assassinated this morning, I think spooked her.
And
at least a little bit.
Still going out in full regalia, though, through at least partially enemy territory. Certainly making a statement.
Yep. And she's only taking 3 guards with her.
And us.
And you guys. Achillia is pretty sure she could take all of you on in a fight, but...
Oh, probably.
She is correct.
The guards are more for everybody else.
I think the people who would give...
Yuki would probably give the biggest
Yuki,
challenge.
Yuki, Brixie, maybe Vost.
2 out of 5 ain't bad.
Yeah. I know what my skill set is, and I'm not ashamed of it.
She's also overconfident, so like, you know, her thinking I could take all 5 of you on is probably within her like wheelhouse as far as thinking it. Whether it's true or not is a whole other story.
I mean, yeah,
She could totally take me on.
Through the power of teamwork and this gun we found, we could take her on.
So, all right, travel time. Who would like to roll, and how would you like to proceed?
I kind of want to go as under the radar as possible. Going through Publia's territory with Achillia is kind of what I'm thinking.
Okay, so safely, quickly, and under the radar?
I'm thinking actually through the forest, carefully avoiding trouble.
Okay. Sounds fine for me. So the band has to collectively mark 1 depletion or exhaustion for each band member. Achillia and her guard are not going to each count as a band member, but they will count as 1. So I will say it's going to be a collective 6.
Okay.
Well, we can
or exhaustion or depletion.
Okay, Vost will mark 1 exhaustion.
I'll mark a depletion.
I'll mark 1 of each.
Okay, so that'll be our double.
And I think we can assume, like, or
Brixie would.
Yeah, Brixie would take 1. I think we can assume that.
Yeah.
So that covers it, and that's a +1 to the roll then.
Someone else want to take it this time?
Let's see. I can do 1.
Yeah, it should be 2d6 plus 1.
So the good news is passing through the forest will skip Howltooth.
Oh, good.
9. Okay. So, here is what you passed on your way through the forest. You passed one of the hidden entrances to the watch tree.
Oh.
So that is what you have. You have found it. It breaks off from one of the paths, and there's actually some. You can see there are some more or less secret paths going from not any one clearing. They come from the paths between clearings.
Okay, so that's how they structure it.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, with a 9, there is a guard following you. Someone spotted you in the woods, and they're not sure what you are, but they are pretty sure that something passing through the woods is a danger, so you're being followed. Specifically, you're being followed by a very large-looking hawk woman.
Oh boy. You can let it track you, or every vagabond marks exhaustion to lose it. I don't think we want to be on their radar yet, especially if Vost is planning things later. I think we need to lose this, this tail.
Agreed.
Is everyone okay with marking an exhaustion for that?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Are you really okay with that, Siva? You didn't sound sure.
I'm just keeping mental note in my head of numbers.
Okay. All right.
Oh yeah, no, I'm fine.
Okay. Well, if everybody accepts it, you can lose the guard in the woods.
Okay.
Oh, you arrive on the other side in Shelldock Clearing. The sky has turned for the first time. The sky is a bitter gray. There's clearly another storm moving in at this point.
A storm is coming.
But the storm is coming. But the water on the lake that you can see is just eerily calm. It's a crystal blue, and it's almost as eye-catching as the enormous turtle shell that is hovering just outside of town within the lake.
Like an actual turtle shell?
As in the image I showed you for Shelldock Isle. Let me pull that image up again so you can see it.
So the shell is floating, not hovering as in outside of the water.
It's floating on the water. Here is... I'll put it in tabletop roleplay. It's an enormous turtle shell with trees growing on it at this point.
Got it. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. But the lake is a brilliant blue with just eerily calm water. The life around here is abundantly green. The buildings here are actually larger than you would expect. They're very solidly built wooden structures. There appears to be a very large one that's used as like a university, perhaps. You see some people carrying books in and out. You see people going about their day as though one clearing over, not a prison break hadn't just happened. You don't see any of the refugees yet.
There's no way we could have beaten them here after traveling the opposite direction and taking a rest. So where are they?
Were they already here and gone?
Oh boy. Hopefully it's just paperwork.
There are things you could potentially do.
Let us do the rendezvous we came here to do, and someone at that rendezvous may know if the large number of denizens have already been through.
Yep, let's go find Skyus.
All right. Skyus appears to be in the center of town. He's working on some sort of contraption. You're not quite sure what it is, but it's a fairly large wooden thing on wheels. And there's a lot of lumber laying around sort of the town square. People are, coming in to help. You see people discussing things. But Skyus appears to be handling the actual construction mostly by himself.
I make sure to flash his token around in case anyone tries to stop us or kill us.
I think most people I think most people see Achillea in full battle regalia with her entourage and decide to step away. Skyus's guards are not as omnipresent as those in the other clearing, those who have experienced the military life of the Eyrie at some point or another.
Fair.
But yes, after a few moments, you meet up with Skyus, and Achillea steps forward and says, "Well, I'm here. Are you ready to form an alliance or not?" And Skyus has a moment, looks at the lot of you, and goes,
I gesture to her with both hands and say, "As requested."
He looks at you and goes, I did not think you could do it, but excellent work. Yes. I would be more than happy to discuss things with you, Achillea. But can we perhaps do this without swords at the table? And Achillea will take her sword off, hand it over to Thomas, and say, "Very well, let us talk." And the two will be going off to do a private discussion.
All right. Politics achieved.
Politics achieved.
Before they goes, we quickly ask Skyus, has a bunch of refugee denizens come through the clearing, to your knowledge?
I do recall, yes, Isolos came by earlier with a large group of people. They're currently at the port house awaiting whatever it is he's discussing with the shipmaster.
Gotcha.
So I would presume they are there.
All right, thank you.
He will nod, and then they will go off to discuss politics.
So I guess we're seeing the portmaster.
Yeah. So, as you approach the port, you get stopped by a very weird-looking creature.
What?
It's about your size, Mint. It's got a beaver tail, webbed feet, and a duck bill.
Oh my god!
What?
And he stops you and says, "I can tell you're not from around here. I got a nose for this sort of thing. So, what exactly are y'all doing here in beautiful Shelldock?"
So tempted to make a quip about a nose, but who's asking and why are you interested?
And he will extend one webbed hand and say, "The name's Harold Papar. I am a member of the Riverfolk Company, and I've come here to place bargains, make trade, and do business with the fine people of Ironclaw."
Well, we're just passing through, so you'll probably have to talk to someone else to make some deals.
"Oh, no, I've already made my deals, but you, fine folk, have come from out of town, I can tell. As I said, I've got a nose for these things. So, I'm curious what you need here. What can I provide you? I've got wares from all across the world, and I happen to know this place like the back of my tail."
Really? Because I thought outsiders were forbidden this far in.
"Oh, they are. When they come through the normal way, but I came through the lake." And at that moment, you notice that it finally sort of sinks in that the people around town have been looking at Harold with deep suspicion and fear.
Huh. On a boat or by the power of your own paws?
Well, by the power of my own paws, but I do have a little raft that I carry with me to carry supplies.
I need an adult.
Well, I can sell you one.
Got a bridge, too. Listen, we will keep you in mind. It's a very generous offer, but we have some urgent business that we need to attend to. So we will definitely look you up if we need something.
Ah, so you're with those refugees, huh? Trying to get people out through the lake, right?
And what's it to you?
Well, if you happen to talk to the people here, you'll know that getting out through the lake is a bit of a precarious situation. It's one thing to go fishing in it, it's another thing entirely to cross it.
You crossed it. Are you offering to sell them boats? And if so, where are you talking to us?
Well, you see, I'm having a bit of trouble getting into that particular meeting because the people here trust my goods, but they don't trust me. I would love to follow you into this.
And there
it is.
Mint? Do we want to grant this? And if so, how much do we want to charge him?
Let's call it a finder's fee for getting your foot in the door.
All right, and what sort of finder's fee do you have in mind?
Well, you said you had goods. What do you have?
Well, as I said, I've got goods from all across the world. I've even been to that fence. And he looks at you like now it's just occurred to him. I've even been to Yamato. Thought I recognized that outfit. I happen to have in my possession some weapons, some arms, some armor, some books, and I also happen to, and he sneaks in a bit closer, on my way in, I happen to catch a sneak peek or two at that little tome, that little catalog of goods that the townsfolk here keep, that little library they like to hide. Might have picked up a thing or two.
Oh, boy.
Oh, okay. Well, I suppose it wouldn't hurt to just get him into the meeting. We get some things
We
out
get
of
him
it.
into the meeting, and they're going to be paying with something else. This guy is a thief.
My good sir, would your wares happen to include something like this? And Vost pulls out an unlit bomb and hands it over carefully.
Unfortunately, no. I couldn't carry it on my little raft. It'd get the powder all wet, and then it just wouldn't work.
The last time we brought someone into a meeting, it didn't end well.
That is also true.
As a casual reminder, our track record's not been all that good. We're on a little bit of thin ice.
Harold will step back and sort of put his hand up, Boy Scout style, cross his heart, and say, Look. I promise that I am not here to do anything untoward. I'm not here to rob. I'm not here to steal. I'm not here to swindle. I'm only here to open up trade officially between the Ironclaw and the Riverfolk Company. That is all I want out of this.
Vost takes his bomb back. So, if needed, you would be in need of supply of something like this on this side of the lake. Am I hearing that right?
Not exactly. I'm more of an envoy, if nothing else. I was hoping to bring my goods and share and sort of liven the folks up to what we at the Riverfolk Company can offer. But just a matter of carrying only what I thought might work.
Because we are thinking that you may wind up offering a way out raft or something to these refugees, and we're just wondering what these good people would possibly pay you with that you would value.
Oh, it's nothing along those lines. It's just a matter of if I can get in there, if I can talk with the shipmaster, I can offer my guidance across the lake because he won't want to give up any of his people for that task.
Right, and what would he pay you with? How would he pay you?
With a trade deal.
He'd pay... Precisely. No money exchange, just a matter of opening up this eerie town to the wonders of the modern world.
Still a thief, though.
Yes, he did steal some books, but that is a totally victimless crime.
If it gets the refugees out faster, that might be a deal with the devil we can afford to pay.
Do you know why the folks around here are looking at me like this, by the way? Do you know why I think that I might be able to provide them something they won't want to give up otherwise?
I was assuming because you're a platypus, but go on.
It's because of the fact that I came across the lake and survived. There's supposedly a beast down in those depths that eats anything that crosses a certain line. And that is what the townsfolk think is the truth.
Oh, that
I didn't
beast?
happen.
I think we ran into that beast yesterday.
Is that so? Well, I suppose it was extremely lucky for me that it didn't decide to treat me like lunch.
Did you perchance come in last night? Sort of early in the morning?
No, I've been here for a week now.
Okay. And no one's let you in the door?
None that wouldn't last more than a minute. People like to treat me like an oddity, something to examine and then throw away without paying me anything.
Well then, we can get you in the door, but we can't really promise anything more than that.
Well, that's all you can do. At least in the company of such fine other people, I won't look like a scoundrel and vagabond.
Tilts his head.
Mint face palms.
I mean, let's face facts. Trying to barge into a meeting by yourself looks way more suspicious than with a group of people.
Yeah.
With a group of people who know the other people inside.
Yep. All right. Well, I guess we're going in with this platypus guy.
All right. Harold, get.
First, you did say you were going to give us the items from Yamato?
Yes, of course. And he will ask you to wait there, and he will go to his raft, which you can see now is sort of parked a good ways into the lake. Swim out to it, come back with the items, and he has it's mostly small arms, a few banners from various Yamato clans, some general weaponry. There's also a scroll that Yuki, you can tell, references your master.
She'll point out that and go, this one.
Just this? Like, anyone else?
I don't have an interest in those things.
Well, I don't just have things from Yamato. I have things from all across the world. I've got things from Dalmatia. I've got things from the Cat Kingdoms. I've got things from... Well, we've got things from everywhere.
The problem, out of character, is that we're pretty good on like special artifacts after the vault raid.
Oh, I know. I know. Like, he's definitely... He's not a great salesman.
Maybe just the offer from them to like take something that reduces their depletion.
Mm-hmm. Also true. Yeah, you could take something to reduce your depletion.
Yeah.
To have do you have any manuals from the Catlands?
I think I might have a thing or two. And he'll go back to the raft, get the scrolls, or get his, parchment. Let me just real fast send Fermi what the scroll says.
While he's out there, I ask if he's got any insignias or banners or badges from Dalmatia.
He does indeed.
I'll take a Dalmatian insignia as my reward.
Okay, then you will have a Dalmatian insignia. And Vost, you will end up with several manuals on not just gunpowder, but it's manuals on the it's like military operation of a cannon and of 3 different types of gun.
Oh yeah, Vost has some reading to do.
Mm-hmm.
Christmas came early for Vost.
So, sorry, my dog just did a weird growl. So yes, you have all sorts of good stuff. Siva, did you have anything you wanted?
Nope, because I'm hauling a giant thing on my back with my book. I cannot carry anything else, even if I wanted something.
I mean, if it has no weight. Okay. If that is the case, then are y'all heading to the port then?
Yeah.
All right. In the dockyard, there's all of the people that you expected to see, as well as Isolos, who is currently having a discussion with a stern-looking beaver, who is making it very clear that it will take time to get all of these people out of here, because it's going to be small boats. It's going to be small boats and no real basically very few people are volunteering to assist in this, even with word from Isolos, and so it's just basically it's an argument about the difficulty of the task and how quickly it can be done, basically.
Well, maybe if we introduced some help from a private interest.
Mm-hmm. And if that is the case, if you introduce Harold, then Harold will get to work.
Harold is now their problem.
All right. Unless there's anything y'all want to do in particular, I will just very quickly describe how this situation resolves.
Sure.
Harold is obnoxious, as you may have guessed. However, he is able to fairly quickly strike up a deal with the portmaster, who seems to have the same sort of general fear of this platypus that everyone else in town does. And Isolos, by pointing out that the sort of general, the large groups situation is the biggest fear as far as dealing with the theoretical beast of the lake. And Harold is good. Harold has crossed the lake. Harold has seen what's under the water, and Harold knows how to deal with it, or at least he's claiming he knows how to deal with it. And Isolos is just happy to get this taken care of, and more than willing to offer an opening for trade. And saying specifically, you hear Isolos saying that he will get in touch with the person in charge, one Scius Duilius, to ensure that this happens. Not mentioning Publia at all, despite the fact that she's technically the one that he works for. So it's the discussion is loud, short, but successful, and they will be getting the refugees will be getting on the biggest boat in town by tonight.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. And while I would rather not push it another week, I don't think I can justify doing another half hour. So
yeah, but there's this whole thing about the watchtower now.
Yeah, I think
that's probably going to end up being our final boss.
I think that's going to be the final boss, unfortunately. The final
Actually,
session.
Vost was saying he can take it on his own, as in that can be an epilogue off screen. That's where I was pushing with that. So you don't have to go there.
Can be.
Yeah, but like this is a bit of an anticlimax to end on. And
there's that, and there's also the fact that
Vost, you're not doing this on your own.
There's also the fact that regardless of any of that, y'all have to get out of the Ironclaw.
Yeah, there's
so
that.
It'd be nice to have Digo here too.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel super comfortable ending the game without Digo present. So, anyways, I think that's as good a point to end it for tonight with with most of your missions sort of locked up. The success of the alliance is yet to be determined, but the people you freed from the prison are, they will be safe theoretically, and the situation with the watchtower is one of the last things to be determined. You've even gotten treasure out of the vault, so by most accounts, you've gotten everything you need from this Ironclaw.
Now it's just what do we do last, and how do we get out?
Yeah. Oh, actually, real fast, Siva. One thing that might help is given that the travelers are all going to be, or a lot of them are worm dreamers. You could probably hand the fang over to them for a while and then pick it up later.
I just realized that. I'm sorry, I have been really most
no, that's fine. I've been kind of like that too.
It's that kind of day.
Yeah. But I mean, I still think this is unfortunately probably not the highs of previous session, but I still think I think things that happened today were good. So
how could we possibly have topped last time's session? Seriously.
I don't know, but I guess we'll have to. I guess we'll have to try and do it next time, then, won't we?
Oh boy!
And with that,
on screen.
We're doing it on screen. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, do you really want me to describe how to do it on screen, or shall we wait until after the recording?
Thank you for listening to our Spudventures. If you like what you heard, you can find more at youtube.com/Newbiespud, or wherever you get your fine podcasts, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, etc. We aim to livestream these games every Sunday around 2 p.m. Pacific time at twitch.tv/Newbiespud. If you want to keep up with this and other projects I'm doing, you can follow me on Twitter at Newbiespud. And if you want to support my ability to produce more content like this, please consider supporting me at patreon.com/Newbiespud. See you next time with the final finale of Shadow Trot.